Hello, you're watching Vibrant Living, where we bring the medical experts into your living room to help unlock the secret to the fountain of youth, to help you look better, feel younger, and live a more vibrant life. Today's topic is all about replacing missing teeth with dental implants. And my guest is Dr. Gary Im from Westminster, Maryland, where he is using cutting-edge techniques and technology to restore hopelessness with new smiles. We sent our camera crew out to Westminster to sit down with Dr. Gary Im at All Smiles Care. Take a look.
I'm Dr. Gary Im. I'm the founding dentist of All Smiles Care, and we serve patients all across Central Maryland. I was born and raised in the Baltimore area, and I wanted to be a dentist. Not at all. I fought it for many years, and then finally, after a while, I realized that, you know what, it is a pretty cool profession. I prayed about it, and I decided, you know, if you open the door, I take it. If you don't, then I do something else. And I opened the right door because it's been a wonderful profession for me, and it is a fun ride, and I enjoy every day of what I do.
Carly, what are you doing there?
I'm married to Lisa, my wonderful wife, and we have two wonderful daughters, two grandchildren, one boy, one girl, and two dogs. And when I'm not in the office, I love being grandpa. I love being Poppy. They just bring joy to our lives, and hopefully we bring a lot to theirs as well. I started the practice here in Westminster a little over 30 years ago, and very thankfully I've been able to create a practice, and my dream has come true to make a place where people could feel safe. I would say it's the undentist experience, where people could say, you know, that's not really like a dental office, but I can get dentistry done there too. We kind of envisioned it kind of like grandma's house. You can come there, you can be safe, you kind of wink, you kind of get all your favorite things, your cookies, your milk, or whatever your favorite things on, and we know what those things are, and we're able to have them here for you. And you get to enjoy it, and the most wonderful thing about it is that you can't wait to come back again. And that makes us feel really good and really special, and it makes our guests feel really special as well. One of the most rewarding things that we do as a team every day, as a dental team, is to be able to build relationships, and they get better all the time. They're just like fine wine, just like your favorite recipes, the special spices, the secret sauce. Most people would think, you know, why you like to be a dentist is because you do X, Y, Z, you know, make people, you know, teeth better, do this, do that. For us here, it's because we make people's lives better, and that's really what's most important to us. We have found as a team that when you get to help someone, that their mouth is not where it wants to be, and when they get to where it wants to be, that their whole demeanor and their true self comes out. It's not that they become a different person, it's just the real person comes out. Because they've been hiding that person for many years, behind a mustache, behind makeup, behind looking grumpy because they think they shouldn't smile, behind beards, and then they come in and they're like, no more mustache, or like oh wow, your makeup looks great, wow, you're smiling all the time. It's like, and you come in and say, well, wow, people tell me I'm a happier person, what did you do? And I just smile because my smile's better.
Please join me in welcoming to the Vibrant Living Studio, Dr. Gary Im. Dr. Im, thanks for being here.
Oh, it's my pleasure, Colin. It's really fun to talk about things that can make such a big difference in people's lives.
Absolutely. Now, for people who don't know you or know your practice, where are you located, and what are the services that you guys provide?
We're located in a small town north of Baltimore in Westminster, Maryland. And we do mostly sedation and complex cases and help restore people's lives and help them feel better about who they are and better about what they can do and who they're with and have more confidence.
Now, I know you guys are a general dental practice, so you guys do all the basic things from the cleanings and the fillings and all that kind of stuff. But your practice, like you said, is centered around more of a specific type of patient. Tell me a little bit more about that patient that you see that has these types of problems.
Well, we have a general dental practice, but we focus mostly on the high fear, high anxiety situations where people just have a lot of dental fears and a lot of dental anxiety. and we are allowed to be part of their lives, and they trust us, and we created a safe place for them to be. And it's just a great feeling to be able to provide care for them in a way that they can walk away from with confidence and a new smile.
Now, I know a lot of people do not like going to the dentist. People go to the dentist and they feel like, sometimes they're treated as a number, or they are, rushed in, rushed out, and it's just not as a good experience for a lot of people. And when our crew was out in your office, they said that you guys do things quite differently.
Oh, we do.
First thing they said they noticed is that you don't call them patients, you actually refer to them as guests. Tell me a little bit about your kind of culture that you've created at your office.
Well, we approach it differently because we believe what happens is just as important as how it happens, what they're personally having done. So it's very intentional that we want to make it a very safe place. We even label it Grandma's house, just because we want people to feel safe and just feel like when you're there, we've got your back. You don't have to worry about a thing, and that you're a safe place to be. You want to come back again, and you have all those feelings that you have when you're at Grandma's house. That it's a safe place, warm place, and you kind of like being there and you're having fun too.
You guys also have a lot of fun as well.
We do.
We have some photos here of your team, and you have an amazing team here, but you guys don't take yourself too seriously, it sounds like. Tell me a bit about some of the fun things you guys do at your office.
Well, fun is a big part of our days, and one of the things that people often will comment about is that you guys almost have too much fun. You guys are having fun all the time, and that's why we like being here. Sometimes people just stop in at the end of the day just to say hi, just because they want to brighten up their day. So we do things a little differently. We have fun. We create special events. We have ice cream trucks come in. We have food trucks come in. We have special event days. We have guests of the days where we give people gifts. And so we just try to make it a fun environment for people to be in and make it pretty much like a non-dentist place.
Amazing. Now let's talk a little bit about your typical patient. Like you said, that you have created a practice that's catered around people that have high fear, people that have high anxiety, people that have a lot of big problems. Tell me about some of the typical patients that you see day in, day out.
Well, probably about 70% of our practice is with people who haven't been to the dentist in 7 to 10, maybe 15 years or more. And they just have a lot of fears, and a lot of our profession kind of thinks that, just hold on to the chair, we can get through this, and you'll be fine, and then you get to go home. We kind of approach it differently. We know those fears don't go away. And so we offer the options of different comfort solutions where you can choose to be more comfortable, and that you don't have to remember what goes on. You don't have to be uncomfortable in any way. And you can just have everything done that you want to have done in a place that you want to be. And for the most part, people will say, you know what, I love being here to get things done. It's never going to be my favorite place, but I know for sure I can come here and be safe and comfortable and get done what I need to.
I know typically in dentistry, if you have a lot of issues and you need a lot of work done, typically a patient has to come into one dentist to get something done and then go to a specialist and then go to someone else and kind of get carted all over town to get what they need done from A to Z. But you guys are different. You guys can do everything all under one roof.
We do. We've recognized early on that when you're dealing with people with high fear, they really don't want to come into our office for one thing and be referred out to another office for another, go to another office for another, because they have to keep revisiting their fear all the time. And that's not a visitor they want to be their friend. And so they just want to stay away from that. So when they come in, we go ahead and allow it all to happen in one place. And that, and what we've had to do over time, just go to extensive training and lots of hours of CE and residencies and things, so we can provide the same level of care that they need, provide for the things that they come in for.
If you're just joining me, I'm here with Dr. Gary Im from Westminster, Maryland. And today's topic, let's jump right into it, is about replacing missing or broken teeth with dental implants, and the technology and the system that you use to be able to give people a brand new smile, most times in just one visit while they sleep. I'm going to put a photo here on the screen, which is probably the typical reality of a lot of people that you see, and that is this. That is teeth that aren't in their mouth but are sitting in a jar by their bed. Walk me through the typical day of someone who is in a loose denture, something like this.
Well, unfortunately, Colin, probably about 1/3 of the people who are over 70 have dentures.
Is that right?
And that's a big number of people whose lives have been altered by big pieces of plastic that look like teeth. So yeah, their days start out that they wake up and they try to feel around to find their dentures. And it's interesting, I have some people come to the office that they will get up earlier than their spouse because their spouse has never seen them without teeth.
Is that right?
And they will get up earlier so that they can go and put their teeth in and put the polydent on them and fix them up and make them stay in so that they can greet their spouse in the morning. So that's how their day begins. It starts out with a really big compromise and not being who they are, not being able to smile first thing in the morning until they get things together. The other thing is that, usually their eating patterns are very different. They have to eat a lot of softer foods and they really can't eat the things that they want to.
And why is that? That's something to do with the teeth being loose, or what is that?
Most dentures really are loose and they're compromised. I mean, people learn, George Washington learned to eat with wooden teeth. But people learn to eat with them. My grandfather had a walker, but nowadays he would have a hip or a knee implant. He wouldn't need that any longer. So there's other options available, but for people with dentures that don't have to stay in, their lives are really different. And they just can't do the things that other people do. And it makes them feel old. It makes them feel like they don't really fit into what everybody else does with all their friends and everything.
Now, people today, as they age, they're not sitting at home all day and just letting life go by. People are being active. They're going out with friends. They want to go out in into the world. Tell me about the rest of their day, a typical day. Say they want to go out to lunch with friends.
Well, a lot of times they have to make choices of like, where can I go so that I can eat what I can eat without being embarrassed, because I don't want my teeth sticking in my hamburger. I don't want to have to order soup all the time. My friends are ordering, other types of things. I can remember one lady that came in for many years that she really had dentures for so long, and she said, all I really want to do is be able to eat my birthday cake, and I really can't even eat that. So it's just sad how it changes people's lives. And it just really has left a big impact on me that we need to find something better that can really help people kind of, live their life to the fullest for their entire life, not just for the first portion of their life.
So it's not just a thing about nutrition, it's also an emotional or a psychological impact of having teeth that just kind of move around, is that right?
Absolutely. So the teeth, oftentimes will just move around, and the psychology of that just makes them that they don't want to smile. Oftentimes they'll hold their hand over their mouth because they're afraid their teeth are going to move, they're going to fall out, or that they don't look very good. They also, will, oftentimes not be in family pictures. They will have kind of a smirk and the grandkids always wonder, well, why was grandpa or grandma always grumpy? And they're really not. They just can't be themselves because they can't really smile because their teeth move.
So if this technology, we'll call it, which has been around since George Washington or even before then, if these dentures, if it's such a bad option, why are people still doing it? Why are they not all going into dental implants?
Well, I think it's just a matter of, it takes a while for people to understand what's available. Until they talk to somebody or until they see things like what you're doing here, where they actually are exposed to other ideas, they say, oh wow, I can have a better life and I could do something different. They really don't know that they can. So this is really primarily about communicating a new idea or educating people to know what they can do and that they really can have a better life.
I've had quite a few uncomfortable dental experiences throughout my life. Basically served in the military for 20 years and 2 tours in Iraq with dental experience in the field, which wasn't too pleasant. But after returning from that, I looked into a dentist, and they were supposed to be very, very good with sedation. That was, again, another unpleasant experience. My nephew Jason had work done here at All Smiles. He had some very extensive work done. I talked to him throughout a couple years, and he was like, yeah, George, you gotta go see Dr. M. And I just told him about, hey, I've never had a great experience, ever. So I came down for a consultation, sat with Robin and Dr. M, and just listening to how they would answer questions and my concerns, and just actually seeing the care that they were very interested in my dental experience being a pleasant one. I was a bit skeptical, but they assured me as long as I followed the directions, I would be just amazed. And honestly, I came in that morning, I was totally relaxed, wasn't anxious, wasn't upset, wasn't kind of doubting. And I have to say, absolutely the best dental experience I've ever had in my entire life. It kind of renewed my faith a little bit in trusting doctors, especially when it comes to dental. I can say this, if there's anybody that has dental fears, man, you got to put them aside, you got to come here. Dr. M will make sure that he pays strict attention to exactly what you're looking for. And in my mind, he's hit it right on the nail.
So are there any other reasons why people don't know about this technology that could be so life-changing for them?
Well, a lot of people, when they have dentures, they just think, okay, well, I don't have teeth anymore. I really don't need dental care. I really don't need to have any type of oral care, except for when I go to my physician and they check and make sure that when I say that everything looks okay. So, you know, they just don't really know what's available, and a lot of physicians are not really as in tune with what's available. So when they finally do come in because they have a broken denture, or possibly they just get so desperate, or their friend is actually doing better than they are, and they realize from a friend that, hey, you know, you can have teeth that stay in, you can eat what you want to eat, you can smile when you want to smile, and be comfortable again, then they kind of seek out the answers.
Now let's talk about this procedure. It sounds like something that's got to take a very long time. I mean, months, if not years, for someone to be able to get fixed set of new teeth. Walk me through, is that the case?
Not anymore, Colin. I mean, there used to be that it was a multi-step process that would take many, many months, sometimes even a year or more. But now there's a process that many people can benefit from, is that they can have everything done in one day, and they can walk out with their new set of teeth that stay in, with new roots, new teeth attached to those roots, and they can eat the very first day they leave.
Is that right?
And they can smile, and they can go home and have their family picture, or take their friend with their spouse and not have to wake up early in the morning. They'll get more sleep.
That's right. Well, that's right. Now, you said one day. Now, people can come in a situation where their teeth are in a jar, or their teeth have a lot of issues, and in one visit, walk out with a brand new set of teeth.
They can. They can leave their teeth in a jar, and they can leave with a new set that stays in. They can go out and shoot them with a shotgun. They can hang them on their Christmas tree. There's a gentleman who comes in and hangs his grandmother's teeth on his Christmas tree because he helped her get new teeth, and now she's much happier. And they hang it as kind of a remembrance of what she used to have to do, and now she has like new things that she can do.
Amazing.
So it's kind of cool.
Now, before we had you come on the show, we actually called your office to see if they would send us a handful of before and after cases to be able to show our audience of what is possible with the technology today. And they sent us way too many for us to go through, but we picked a handful of our favorites. And I want to put a few on the screen and have you walk us through what exactly you did with these patients. This was one of the ones that really stood out. Tell me a bit about this patient and what was their concerns when they came to see you.
Well, this is Scott. Scott came in a number of years ago, but he was so fearful that it took him a while to build up the point where he felt like he wanted to come in and do the sedation and have something done.
Is this something you see a lot with patients? You mentioned
unfortunately, we see this a lot. I mean, if you see fear drives a lot of things. Probably if you're in a room of 10 people, probably 3 out of the people in that room will probably never go to a dentist and have a really good chance of looking like this.
Is that right?
Which is really sad. That's a third of the population that probably end up in this situation. So Scott was, in this situation where he had teeth that he stayed up late a lot, he worked a lot of hours, he traveled a lot, and the way he stayed up to get his work done is he drank a lot of coffee with a lot of sugar in it. He drank a lot of sweet tea because he was down south a lot. So he just, unfortunately, not catching things early, he was in a situation where his teeth were no longer salvageable. We couldn't save them any longer. So his situation was one where we were able to offer him implants and teeth that stay in, and he even stops in sometimes and says, "Hey doc, I just went out and got some corn on the cob because I'm eating it again."
Is that right?
And so he just loves eating with the new teeth, and he stops by pretty frequently just to thank us for doing that. And it's like, kind of amazing to have a job where people are that appreciative. So we really do appreciate that.
Well, I want to show our audience the after photo here, which is amazing. So this is something he came in and in one visit was to be able to leave with this. Tell me a
Right.
bit about this process here.
The process is that, you know, Scott was sedated so that he wouldn't remember anything. And we can do different levels of sedation up to IV sedation and use medications that can help somebody be more comfortable and they won't remember. It's like medical induced amnesia, okay?
Is that right?
They just don't remember it.
So they can go through this process and rest comfortably,
Mm-hmm.
sleep through it, and then also not remember what happened.
Correct. They will not remember a thing about it, and when they get home, they'll have their new teeth and they'll smile and they say, wow, it's the new me, and that's kind of how it works for them. So the sedation makes a lot of this possible because it allows them to kind of conquer this mountain that's in front of them and get them over this to the top of the peak and down the other side where they can enjoy themselves. So Scott was able to do that, and now he's able to eat everything he wants to. He's able to smile in family photos. In fact, one of the main motivators for him was his daughter was getting ready to graduate from high school, and she really didn't want her dad not to be able to smile at her graduation pictures.
Is that right?
So he worked hard to make sure that he worked his time away from his job that he could come in and get this done in a day, and he was able to smile for graduation pictures.
I can imagine. I mean, so not just the ability to eat, but cosmetically to be able to be confident, to have that back must be huge. What is it like for you as a dental team to be able to witness this type of transformation?
Well, it's amazingly heartwarming. You get to go home every day, you know, when you do these things, and it just makes our days incredibly fantastic. And we have a wonderful team, so I really can't pull this off by myself. I mean, I have a wonderful group of people and a wonderful team that makes this happen, and they become the guests' friends. And, you know, everybody kind of, you know, works together, and we become like one big family and just kind of help each other through all this process.
Amazing. And you mentioned sedation, that he was able to sleep through this entire procedure. Do you think Scott would have been able to get this procedure without sedation?
Probably not unless somebody held him down.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah, well, that's amazing. I want to take you through our next photo here. This one really stood out. This looks like a lot of grinding, a lot of wear and tear on these teeth. Tell me about this patient and what was their concern when they came to see you?
Well, this Frank. Frank had a lot of wear on his teeth. He had worn things down through the years because he was missing a lot of back teeth, so he just started using his front teeth until he just wore them out. And then at that point, the roots were there, but there wasn't really anything that you could do with the roots that he had. So we had to go ahead and work out a plan with Frank so that he could have the teeth removed and new teeth put in that would stay in, that would be fixed to the implants that were placed. And also in this situation, there were some gum disease problems that, you know, a good 75% of the population has some degree of.
Of
And
gum
so-
disease, is that
of
right?
Gum disease. So,
Interesting.
and it affects not only, you know, your dental health, but it affects your, you know, your cardiac health and the rest of your health as well. But yes, for Frank's situation, you know, he's just a kind of a picture of what we see many times, where the teeth is really worn as people get older, and then if they're not repaired or kept in repair because of fear or because of, you know, different situations, then they unfortunately end up in a situation like this. It would be like the road that never gets repaired and just constantly gets worn out, and you finally have all the potholes and everything and no longer really that drivable.
Interesting. Now I want to put the after photo of what you were able to do for Frank here, because this is just amazing. Tell me
Yeah.
exactly what you did here.
Well, Frank came in and he did sedation, and many times that's what people choose to do because they know that this is such a big event and they really don't want to remember it because they really visualize it as being as a really horrific experience. So it just makes it easier for them to be comfortable. And it also amazingly helps it heal faster when they're relaxed.
Is that right?
When they're relaxed, it just your immune system just works better, and the inflammatory system is cooled down, and they just everything works better afterwards as well. So Frank went through the process of being sedated. We placed some implants, and then we also had his teeth, and he had those in a day, and then he was able to walk away with new smile, new teeth, and he's able to eat what he wants to eat again.
Amazing. Now on our notes with Frank, you mentioned off camera that something about his grandson or a grandchild.
Yeah, I did.
That would mention something about before. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, many times stories come out later. Sometimes they don't tell you at the time, but you know, he shared that his grandson, the reason he came in was because his grandson, he wanted to know why his grandpa was always grumpy grandpa, because he would never smile. And he knew he wasn't grumpy, he knew he was happy, but he wanted to know why his grandpa didn't smile like everybody else. So, you know, he wanted to make sure his grandson got to see him in a way that he would be remembered, you know, as the grandpa who was happy and that he looked like everybody else and he fit into the family.
Truly amazing. If you're joining me just now, I'm here with Dr. Gary Im from All Smiles Care in Westminster, Maryland, going through some photos of some cases of patients that literally life-changing dentistry. Now, we are seeing a lot of older folks, and I know you see a lot of people who are getting older into their age and retirement, but younger people suffer from this as well. This next one is one that really stood out to us. It looks like a young gentleman. This was Charles. Tell me a little bit about Charles and what was the situation when he came to see you?
Well, Charles came to see us. Charles is an amazingly fit man. He is just a fitness fanatic. He works out all the time and he's in really good shape. And he also is a Dallas Cowboy fan beyond belief. Ever since he was 12 years old, he's traveled from Maryland. He has his season tickets that goes and sees every one of their games.
Is that right?
No matter where in the country they're playing, every single week. But he just loves his Cowboys. But he knew that his friends and all, that he was embarrassed to be around them when they ate certain things because he couldn't eat things and he also didn't feel comfortable smiling. The other thing is that he was family driven, that his son, you know, told his dad, he says, I really want you to look like the other dads that we're with. He said, because, you know, you're missing all your teeth. And he said, I really want you to be like the other dads that we hang around with.
Is that right?
At the football games. And so, you know, it was something really became important to Charles that he realized that finally that, and his again was a fear situation. So he came in and we were able to restore, you know, take the situation where he had a lot of broken teeth and a lot of damage just from years of not being able to do things or not, you know, because of fear or because of not being able to come in. Because he worked a job where he traveled a lot and that became, you know, something got in his way as well. And so what he did is he decided, I'm just going to do this. And Charles has done it, and it's amazing when you look at this picture.
Let's pull that up here, because this after transformation is incredible.
Well, it's a transformation of a person, not just of a smile. And I think what the amazing thing is, he's just a different person now because he just dresses differently, and even though he's fit and, you know, he still works out, he smiles like a fanatic too.
Amazing. Well, that's about all the time we have for today. I feel like we could talk about this forever, and you have so many more case photos that you've sent us that we could go over. But the take-home message for people who are sitting at home in pain, embarrassed, can't eat, can't chew, the people who psychologically don't want to go out and enjoy life anymore. What is the take-home message for those people that are watching?
Well, the take-home message is that, you know, life is for living, and you can do something about that. And there are things you can do, and it doesn't have to be uncomfortable, painful. You can come to grandma's house or someplace like that and just be a guest, have it done with sedation. But there's many different processes where you can restore your life and be vibrant again.
That's all the time we have for today. I want to thank my guest, Dr. Gary Im from Westminster, Maryland at All Smiles Care for spending some time with us today to explain this amazing technology. If you're in Westminster or the surrounding areas and something we've said has struck a chord and you're ready to get your life back through new teeth, give Dr. Im a call. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you, Colin. It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much.